This is Face in the Crowd. We're chatting to Sechaba Khoaele. He is the owner of Media. Sechaba, looking back, what was your childhood like? I mean, you in Sharpeville, Vosloorus, how did that add to your experience during your childhood?
I was born in Sharpeville, and it was from like now they call it grade 1 until like, I think grade 4.
Okay.
And my parents moved to the East Rand in Vosloorus when I was about 10. And my experience then, we're a normal child in the township, you know, playing soccer, dabbling into this and that, finding your passion. But it was when I reached, I think about grade 3 or 4, when I realized that I'm more passionate about the creative field. Even when I was in high school, creative writing and drawing, art was my interest.
So growing up, what did you want to become? I mean, what were your aspirations? It's actually quite amazing that at grade 3 you already knew this was the line you were going to take, given that people or parents tend to push us in the traditional roles of accounting, doctor, lawyer, etc.
Yes. No, I'm not saying I was immune to that.
Oh.
I was also kind of pushed into becoming an accountant. I almost became an accountant, actually.
Wow.
And I wanted to become a filmmaker. From, say, a higher primary age, I wanted to become a filmmaker because I would actually draw pictures of a film set with the gaffer, with the crane camera, the trail, and actual actors doing the in front of the camera work. So I wanted to become a filmmaker.
And you kind of double in that right now, right?
I do.
It's come full
I actually
circle.
do, because I mean, with the technology that we have today and the platforms we have on social media, there's platforms for us to now create and put out content.
And own as well.
Exactly, and own content.
Who were some of your role models growing up? I mean, who had the biggest impact on your life in terms of just Sechaba growing up and refining that potential that is now apparent to everyone?
I would say it was an era, more than just a person who influenced my final.
Okay.
There was the time around 1997 when YFM started.
Yes.
That era had a culture that embraced a lot of the arts. So from real artists who make, you know, craft arts,
yes,
to music, to entertainment. That was a change within our society and a new introduction to a new era. So from Kwaito music, the emergence of how hip-hop music also emerged, and all the arts that were talking into each other, fashion. So it was basically a whole change of an era that influenced me in my growing up, because throughout those times, I actually would take part in things, or this or that, within those eras. I tried to be a rapper.
I actually wanted to ask, within that space and that era, what was your identity and what did you want to co-create in that space? Do you think you are living that right now, besides not being a rapper? But you do own a record label, which you can actually utilize at some point if you want.
Yeah, I really think that I did follow the passion, and it was influenced by a lot of the things that, like, within the culture that emerged during that time, because there was freedom to express yourself, and young people were now having a voice, and I actually feel that I became part of that era that had a voice, and I expressed it.
How did your parents help to hone your creative energy, your creative spirit, and encourage you also when you decided that accounting wasn't the route you'd actually go?
It was a bit of a challenge because, I mean, the background, my mother is a nurse, my dad was an engineer. And now to come back and say, I want to be an artist, to them, it felt like I want to go and paint flowers and make a living out of making paintings, you know. So, however, I had to now show them and introduce them to a new career that they've never seen, heard, or see anybody earn an income from. So I had to now show them that it is possible and I'm doing it. And, you know, right now, they are proud.
It's always interesting to hear what people who know you on a more personal note have to say. We caught up with a friend and a brother, and this is what they had to say.
Hello, my name is Sechaba Khoaele. I am Sechaba Khoaele's younger brother, young and only brother. Hi, my name is Julius Lamini. Good friends with Sechaba from high school, grew up together. He was always an artistic person, you know. Ever since I've started making logic of things, right? He's been that guy who's doing cartoons every time. He loved basketball. He used to be a rapper somewhere, you know. But the one thing that I remember the most is that, which still is in existence right now, is that I've been looking up to him, and everything that he does, I've trusted his opinion through and through, you know. He used to go to this high school called Wordsworth. It's in Pinoni. That's when he actually developed or got that interest of graphics, of graffiti, but obviously not on people's walls and stuff, but you know, on his books and his sketchbooks. You know, how do I describe Sechaba? Suping, that's his nickname actually. We call him Suping. He's quite possibly one of the coolest dudes ever. And in high school, he's cool dude, you know, we're cool. But I actually didn't think that he was who he is. Like, he's a creative mind, you know, he's a sharp guy, very creative, very passionate about stuff and new content. And Sechaba's always discovering something new all the time. If he's not streaming, he said, Joe, check out my Facebook. I just saw this, I just discovered this. He's always discovering new talent. He's like so passionate about online and discovering new talent. He actually, I think, got me to where I am today. He made me shift my mind towards online and just new age stuff, digital world, because that's really his space. He loves it. He wow, naughty. Yes, there was a bit of being a boy, go high, but I wouldn't say naughty. I wouldn't say he gave my parents some trouble. What I know is that the only trouble that he gave them was his opinion. I don't know how he got that nickname. I just met him at school because I was new to the school, first day, and then there were guys who lived in the neighborhood that I lived, because I just moved to Pinoni, so I made some friends. Then I went to school there, and so the guys that I think at bus actually, I met these guys, and then got to school. And then in the crew, you know, when you go to school during break, so you go to hang with the guys you just met, and there's other guys in the crew that you haven't met. Then Suping was the guy from Fosloras, short guy, never grown. He has a lot in his mind, you know. He has a lot in his mind that he's just so opinionated, creative. He's so creative in such a way that he thinks. Sometimes I used to think that he's just not that normal. Suping is the one guy that I can hang with, whether it be serious or it's fun. I can call him. Is that guy that if I have a punch, I know I can call him. I can always rely on him because he's very reliable. You know, he does have a serious side to him, which is cool. You know, he's grown up. He's a bit mature, so he does have that side to him, that he's a grown-up guy, upstanding guy who just believes in being good. Like, be a good guy, you know. You can call him for anything. He'll be there for you. So he's also very easy to relate to, you know what I'm saying? Also, he's a family man. You know, he's got a beautiful wife, beautiful son. Very loyal to them. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I mean, on a Friday when no call, because he's down the road, I can call him up and say, yo, let's hang out for a drink. And every time you hang with Suping, you actually, even if it's a party environment, you'll find yourself having learned something, you know, or having discovered something with him, because his mind is always just racing and pacing somewhere, and he's always going to show you new stuff and everything. Now you end up as well, you want to show him stuff as well, you know, because you're like, but you want to outdo him almost. I wish his business could actually be recognized for what it's actually worth, you know. Because like I said, he's a very dedicated and determined. His vision is much more bigger than what he explains it to be, you know. I wish that a chance in his entrepreneurship the Six Fingers Media, that he continues. I wish that he continues and he never gives up on the setbacks, the many setbacks that come through his way, that he finds that one opportunity, you know, that will actually become his break.
I wish all the best. That guy, I mean, he took a proper giant leap of faith, left comfort zone of employment, took a chance, like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out there by myself. And look, he's living, you know what I'm saying? He's still, and I wish him all of the best. I think he deserves the best, he deserves greatness. I actually wish that one day me and him get to work together and we just do greatness, because he's really a guy that I want to have by my side forever and ever.
The journey of entrepreneurship is an up and down roller coaster, all the way. Some of the challenges that you face, though, that have helped to hone you and also solidify your position in this industry, what were some of those challenges? How did you overcome them?
There are a couple, but I'll mention, first of all, being able to communicate with a client in terms of what it is that you can offer them. Because you must remember, a lot of the clients don't understand what we do, especially if they're not in the field. I mean, today I could be at an airport taking pictures of helicopters, and tomorrow I could be in a mine. So now to explain my offering and what it is and what it would be worth to them is a bit of a challenge. And then one of the second ones is a lot of the businesses, small businesses, they have a problem with cash flow and managing cash flow. It's a bit of a problem, especially when you don't have a certain financial backing to help you with the business. And how do we overcome those? You know, it's like I said earlier. You know, it's being able to manage and discipline yourself to be able to execute, you know, plan properly, plan ahead. Now, you're no longer working as doing a creative and thinking it's good. You plan ahead, you basically work in reverse, and then you are able to execute, whether you have challenges of cash or challenges of communicating a certain way to a client.
Along the way, I mean, they always say it's not how many times you fall, but the amount of times you actually get back up again. Are there any regrets on your side? Some of the decisions that you've made along the way that you would do differently or advise yourself differently?
There are a few regrets. However, you don't look at them as in a negative aspect. You take them as a lesson. And those regrets can come from not communicating, for example, with a client regarding the end product, which is, you know, maybe the payment, maybe not writing down a contract because you have some level of trust because you're excited to get the job. So, you know, I think that's a lot of us small businesses, we've suffered a little bit from that, because first you want to create you want to impress and then get the results. However, you need to be able to manage that. It's a sensitive topic. However, it's good to be able to manage it from the beginning, because then the professionality comes from that.
What advice would you impart to those watching who want to start or aspire to be entrepreneurs, that just lessons you've picked up along the way that have helped you in the long run?
The first lesson I learned was just start. Because that is one of the hardest. It sounds easy, but it's actually one of the hardest. You just start and you learn as you go by. If you have some formal training within it, brilliant. However, a lot of it, when you are in the field, you need to unlearn a lot, because then you're now dealing with human-to-human interactions. So start, follow a passion, and just focus.
The future of Six Fingers. What can we expect? What is the legacy for Sechaba as well?
In part of the future, one of the biggest passions why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I want to create employment. I want to create a space for creatives to come and be able to express themselves. And I also want to be part of a generation that started things which traditional media never thought of.
Sechaba, thank you so much for making time to chat with us today. We wish you all the best with your future endeavors, and who knows what the future holds, but of course we'll see you on top. So continue to shine and rise.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the time.
They say creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. That is all we have for you this week. From myself, Liesl Wilson, and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now.